Kia ora. Close to My Heart has released a new Cricut piece of software, or Cricut cartridge as they used to be called, and this is called Everyday Moments. Now today I'm going to use the cut file, which is the Sweet Life one that you can see here, from a double page layout in the Everyday Moments collection, for want of a better word. So what I've got here is I've got some peach cardstock in the background, and I have just cut on the Cricut the left hand page using the White Daisy cardstock, and I have printed a couple of photos on my selfie. So one of those photos of my daughter blowing out the candles, that was 2:1 on a 4x6 selfie print, and then those two little ones that are there was a 4:1 photo on there, and I have backed those with the White Daisy cardstock as well. I've pulled out some journaling from the the new Seize collection. I think it's Seize the Day, just trying to work out, remember what that was actually called, which is a really beachy ocean escape holiday kind of collection. And so, but I've teamed that up with this citrus fresh kind of layout, with the citrus in the background there. And so I'm just journaling on the journaling card that was from the Picture My Life, or the pocket journaling type cards that come in there, the Seize the Day Picture My Life cards. So they're there, and the wee banner that I've got there is one of the die cuts from the Seize the Day scrapbooking workshop kit. So these, you can get the kits with all sorts of bits and pieces in them, and I get those, but I use them differently to what the examples are, just like the chance to play around and see what I can come up with them. So I'm using the 3D foam tape here just to lift this banner up a little bit, and I want it sort of to look like the photos are sitting on a shelf in there, and it just adds a little bit more dimension on top of. Now these flowers are also die cuts from the Seize the Day scrapbooking workshop kit, and I'm just placing them in different points around the around that sort of cluster of photos in the middle there, and including where that shelf or that scallop border sits along the bottom. So I'm getting all these different components together because when I first saw this this aspect of the Everyday Moments in Design Space, I wanted to fill the segments with sequins, and you'll see that shortly that I'm going to do that. But I'm just tucking in these flowers and the leaves underneath, because I didn't want to put sequins where photos and other things would be sitting on top. So what I used was liquid glass and some of our silver sequins, and I poured the liquid glass into the segment, and then I placed the sequins in the segments as well. So this took 3 to 4 sequins in each of those, and it did take quite a while, but the effect at the end is really worth it when you look at it and you see the different textures, the different dimensions, and you get that real sparkle, which ties in nicely to the photograph of my daughter and her ice cream cake for her 18th birthday. So it is kind of that sweet connection, but just that sparkly, that glitter. It just adds to that mood or that feeling of the layout. So yeah, just placing all of these pieces one by one, and only the parts that I can see, and in some cases tucking them underneath a little bit. So the next thing after filling in all of those that I worked on was I decided, after playing around with the colours, to colour in the word sweet using our watercolour pencils. And I went through and did this with each of the letters, before then going over the top with I think I used the medium water brush just to blend this in, so it didn't look like I'd coloured it in, but it gave that real watercolour paint look. These pencils are great in that they they flow nicely when you paint over the top of them with the water, and it does look like a really nice watercolour effect. Because I've already stuck this down on the background, I had to be quite careful not to go over, but the beauty of the watercolour is that once I do paint over it with the brush, I'm able to fill in the different gaps on it. If you are going to do something similar, I would recommend perhaps doing this aspect of the title, the colouring in, and the water brush over the top before you stick it down onto the cardstock in the background. So here I've gone through and I've finished colouring in those letters and painting over, and now I am using the diamond stickles and I'm spreading this out along the lettering, and you'll see here how that has a really nice finish to sweet, and I actually like that it lifts off the page a little bit. So I hope you consider getting hold of the Everyday Moments collection and have a look and see what you can come up with. Thank you.